with GORP right now. My name is Josh. GORP, of course, stands for Gladiator Style, Ostrich Leather, Reebok, and Puma. These are things involved with shoes. Today we're talking about shoes. Like I said, my name is Josh. You can find us at GORP Show on Twitter. Who else is in the building?
Hi, I'm Brooke. At Brooker Loves.
Apricot Loves. At Brooker Loves,
Apricot
yes.
Loves.
Apricots do love, from what I understand.
Tastes like real apes.
Right? I think that's why they're so delicious, is because they're made with love and they give love. By the way, I'm Fry.
Oh, yes.
And you can reach me at TheSadFan 12, and you can reach the whole show at TheSadFan Cast. Yeah. And you can find us at the SadFan Podcast Network on YouTube. Website is coming soon.
Website coming soon. It's going to have so much Flash animation. It's going to blow your mind. JavaScript, bro. Today on GORP, we're
That's what
talking
you
about,
get when you give the artist powers.
Yeah, we're gonna do a real vintage type shit. You probably need like a Win95 type computer. Maybe play some DOS.
I love it. I love it when the business guy enters the art world. And he suddenly becomes the artist that entered the business world. And I'm like, Josh, do we actually need this? Oh, absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
Yeah, you suit. You suit.
Do you not know anything?
We're talking about shoes. As we all know, most people use them. Most people like them, at least for their utility aspect. Some people love them. My grandfather wore this shoe. He's dead now.
We got that with the past tense of war.
I just like to bring up dead people. So we have some topics in here. Each topic is a little bit nebulous, a little bit less explanation than normal. They're just song titles involving shoes. So first one, they have an idea involving this song title. Just throw it out there. Maybe it's like your favorite brand or your first time wearing a shoe or a memory from the song for the shoe, for the song for the shoe. Anyway, here we go. First one up. Red bottoms. Red bottoms. Go ahead.
Oh gosh, it's a Fergie song, and it popped right into my head about. Oh no, go! Someone else go. I'm gonna look it up.
Red bottoms. Well, I think about red bottoms as a shoe. They're classically known as. That's what you're stepping out with. Like, you got the red bottoms on. Like, that's what the ladies are rocking. Or even the men. When your heels are red, the soles of your shoes are red, like hot red. That means it's time to go out and we're partying, we're dancing, we're getting cocktails, we're taking Ubers. We're going to get some street meets. We're going to be out all night. It's going to be a good time. You're going to find some play. And so...
Mary Jane shoes. Like, that's what it's called. Okay. Sorry, Josh.
Mary Jane shoes. And just a quick art nerd history lesson. One of the first people to ever wear red bottoms, the popularizing factor was Louis XIV, and he's got that famous photo where his belly's all like me, and he's got these tiny little bird legs, and he has tights on and red bottom high heels. I'm not sure if anyone knows this, but most fashion accessories were worn by men before they were ever worn by women, aside from maybe the bra, and that's it. Like, everything else, men invented for themselves first, and then they bequeathed it, and it's very masculine and chauvinistic.
I do believe that the bra was invented by a man as well, though.
The man's
they were they were the only ones allowed to act in plays for the longest time. So
yeah. So things like that. So the red bottom was specifically for Louis was the one who got to wear those.
Would you like to touch my red bottom?
My shoes. The red rocket.
I would.
From the backside. I got that.
Have you ever seen a king lift up his shoes so high?
It's very interesting. I bring all that up, not just to be a nerd because I like being a nerd, but also think about it. The red bottom shoe is still one of the hotter objects, and it's 400 years later.
Well, you know it's classic. It's because they're Louboutins, which is the brand,
based
and so I wonder
Louis.
if that's off of Louis, right?
Maybe, I don't know. I made that up. It might be based off of Louis.
It could be.
And he was the one that started that whole trend. And then also when he died, almost all those fashion trends died out, but the red bottoms remained throughout the years.
I think red bottoms will probably just keep going, even if they're like.
Yeah, red is a powerful color.
Yeah.
And red on your heel is a statement.
It means like it looks like you stepped in blood a little bit. Like I worked for this.
Or you're walking on fire. Like I'm the hot one.
Mm-hmm.
Lil Wayne,
okay, I have two songs that came up to me. Pumps by Amy Winehouse.
We'll believe it.
And
that's a great song.
It's a
bleep
great song.
me pumps.
Sorry. And then also, I don't know the title, but Stiletto Pumps in the Club. Yeah.
Is that 3-6? Who's that? Sounds like 3-6. I've been in the club. Stiletto Pumps. I don't know.
It's a girl's. I think it's maybe Krayshawn.
I'm sure Nicki did a song like that too.
Probably.
And Nicki Minaj.
Maybe even before Nicki Minaj. Maybe, oh gosh, Lil' Kim, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Oh, where my girls at? From the front to back, well, is she feeling that? Put her hand out, can you repeat that? Remember that song?
Ooh! So while I was looking for it, there's a literal song just called Red Bottom Shoes by Marna Michelle. Didn't know that. Came out in 2022. Never heard it. Probably never will.
Marna
Not clicking
Michelle sounds like someone I went to grade school with. Shall we move on? All right, someone else has to start.
Did you know that Cardi B sings about red bottoms in Bodak Yellow?
She does.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. You know the lyrics?
Because apparently she says something about these yellow shoes, and I'm reading this article from 2017 where Louboutin responded to the song Bodak Yellow and talks about the red bottom shoes, like Brooke said, being bloody shoes. Apparently, they didn't like that characterization of their shoes.
That's hot, though. This is bloody shoes. That's one of the hottest lines. Like, I mentioned how I hated Cardi B at her inception for me, seeing her on Love and Hip Hop. She can rap, dude.
Mm-hmm. And in Spanish and English. She can go in Spanish and English.
Nice.
I like her personality a little bit.
I like her personality also. I really like her personality. She just played it up in that one reality show, and it didn't really vibe with me. So.
If you do that, you get to be in a movie with Jennifer Lopez that gets nominated for an Academy Award. So
Adidas, Adidas.
All day
Who knows
I
the
dream
song?
about.
Well, you got Outkast and you've got Korn.
Yes,
yeah, Korn.
That's correct. There's a interweaving, a synergy, if you will.
Absolutely. I love how chill the Outkast version is. The Outkast version is still a song that I have on my cooldown playlist when I'm done with like a long run and I put it on, just because I like the beat as far as like when you're slowing down your jog almost into a walk after your run. It's just a really dope beat. And then, of course, you have the tone of Andre 3000. His tone is so nice, like in his voice. Oh. So I would say I would go with that one over Korn. However, Korn, I feel like, made a larger cultural impact overall.
Yeah, of course. But Outkast, I mean, I don't know. Maybe in the white community, but I'm sure Outkast's every single track is way more memorable in the black community than anything Korn ever did.
Whoa. You went every single track. I was just referring to the specific song.
Yep. Not what? Well, here we go. I went real bold.
Fighting words, Josh. Anyway. Our dudes on that one, because
So there is the song, though. Let's talk about Adidas in general, or maybe a brand you liked. I don't know. But yeah. Actually, the truth of that is Adidas and Puma were the same company. It was called Adolf. The bombings were happening in England. They would share a bunker, and one night they're walking into the bunker. One family to the other family, and the bombing starts, and one person goes in. This is how the story goes. There those bastards come again, or here those bastards are again, whatever, something like that. And they were referring to the bombers, but the other family took it as a like, here we go again. So then from there on, they split from becoming Adolf, and then they became Adidas and Puma. So,
did you ever Snopes that? Out of curiosity, have you ever Snopes that?
No, I like to just accept truth as truth. No, I'm sure it's fake. I'm sure all that's fake.
I think everything's all factual things are probably fake.
It sounds like a really cool hearsay, and I love to stick to hearsay and never look it up. I'm not even being sarcastic. I'm admitting that I'm a fraud.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Okay, so Adidas, I just remember I'm having like this flashback of remember when you could change the colors on them?
Yes.
Was that Adidas?
Yes.
You're talking about the shell toes?
The stripes.
Sure.
Yeah. Change out the stripes. Yep. My friend Andre swears he came up with that idea first, even though it's not that.
Andre.
Ra 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 ra. Booyah!
Don't we all say that
But it's
about?
one of
I
those-
swear I thought of that.
But really, though, it's one of those ideas that, like, that is a brilliant idea, and you probably did come up with it before the corporation did. However, the corporation marketed it way before, like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, we should change the stripe
Also,
color.
these companies,
That's not that
these
revolutionary.
companies have things in R&D. These companies have things in R&D for like 10 to 20 years before they ever release it. It's all like, it's all programmed. It's like
the Ford Mustang came out.
I think
and Chevy did their thing. Was it the Dodge, the Nova? I don't know what the Chevy did in return. It took them 5 years, but they were thinking about that for years and years and years. Yeah.
I think I've told this story on the show before. I was watching back in the day a 2020 interview with the then CEO of GNC, and he's like, we have warehouses and warehouses of electric cars. And the reporter goes, well, why don't you release those to stop pollution or curb pollution? He goes, if I did that, who would buy the current inventory? Because we also have warehouses and so they have this stuff forever. It's just all planned out so as okay, the shareholders need more money. We need a new drop. We've had this in the tank for so long. Let's drop it. Like
Nintendo
it's just
did
how
that.
money works.
Nintendo. I don't know if you remember the old school Game Boy for Nintendo. Then they dropped the Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
And when the Game Boy Color dropped, they already had the Game Boy Advance on deck, but they didn't release it because the Game Boy Color was selling like hotcakes. Anyway,
all a part of marketing and. Like, if you understand business at all, you can't just be giving all your good shit out all at once.
Yeah,
absolutely. Speaking of going back to Adidas, Adidas is my brand. Like, I'm ride or die Adidas. I've bought outside of them.
Run DMC over here.
Like, no joke, dude. I'm shell toe for life. Like, I'm about that life. I'm about Adidas.
I could see that.
And when I was in Portland,
I can't wait to see Josh in a tracksuit.
I have half of a tracksuit.
Sure. Yes, absolutely.
I've had a tracksuit before. I love the stripes. They do make the purple.
They make them in every color, Brooke. You can custom order them. Yeah, you can custom order.
I love Adidas. And this was solidified hard because at this really fancy hipster bar I worked at in Portland, we were around the corner from Adidas headquarters, and they would come to our spot for business lunches. And like all the employees got to wear the new hot gear, like out of like way before season. They had the coolest gear. So hip, so choice. And every time I saw them, like,
cool
dang! Right. Like the R&D department, they just get to wear the hot gear just to see how it feels and all that stuff. Yeah. And they would meet at our bar. So I get to see all the hottest stuff. This was before 2016. Hot, yeah. But it was like, if you wore it today, you'd be like, dang, that's still ahead of its time. Adidas is hot. Adidas is it's just tight. The way that I like Nas over Jay-Z, even though Jay-Z's good, I'll never wear Nikes because I'm about Nas. You know what I mean? I'm about Adidas.
You would always walk around the dorms like, yo, Jay-Z may have won, but I ain't never heard shit like Ether before.
Right. That's what I'm saying. No, tell me something Jay-Z did better. No, like I don't. Nikes is tight. The Air Force Ones, Cortezes. I like the Nikes, but I'm not going to buy Nikes because Adidas is around, and everything Adidas does is just better than Nike. Shut up. I know I'm wrong. The majority says I'm wrong, but whatever.
No, I'm like a Vans or a Chucks person, so
Vansy Chucks, that's fine.
My favorite pair of Vans right now is actually a slip-on pair that I thrifted for like $15. They're pink and white checkered. And it's probably my favorite pair of shoes other than my combat boots right now.
Checker Chucks are nice. Checker Chucks are really nice.
I used to drive...
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like Josh's Adidas store, I used to drive by to my office in Irvine when I was at Sprint. I used to drive by the Vans headquarters all the time. That building looks so dope because it's all black building with just a red checker stripe around the bottom.
That's the red bottom.
Not red, pardon me, white checker. I said red, I meant white. It's a white checker stripe, yeah.
I grew up like dating skater boys and like that type of scene.
I was
so
a
like
wannabe
I
skater
think
boy.
I was like
I said see you later, boy.
He wasn't good enough for her.
Or you.
Yeah, you're right.
Smell
Next
like
topic.
Grandpa
shoes.
Adidas took a turn.
Okay, well, maybe this doesn't quite work because we just talked about a little bit of Vans on, but they look like sneakers. Get my Vans on, but they look like sneakers. The song in particular, I just reminds me of one of my old workmates that he would just like out of nowhere, non sequitur, and say, "Hey, do you get that report? Do you have that paper? Whatever it is, business thing." And he just look at me like really quick, like, "I got my Vans on, but I look like sneakers. Got my Vans on."
I love that so much. I think that there's a Mac Miller line about Vans, but I don't remember exactly what the lyric was.
I think that's the song that immediately came to my mind, and that's how it became a topic. Was got my Vans on, but they look like sneakers.
Right.
But outside of the song realm, I will say this: like, I was not like I got athletic shoes because I played all the sports while I was in high school, and if I didn't do it on the teams, I did it on like breaks or lunch breaks or at the gym or during PE. You know, so I never had like walking shoes. You know, like a lot of kids had walking shoes that were Vans. And I was always jelly of the kids that had more money because you'd see them and they'd get the custom print Vans. And I always thought the custom print Vans were so dope. Like I saw a girl had like one of the girls had the Wolverine one where he's like slashing up the top of the van, and I thought that was dope. And then like you would see like Mario and Yoshi on Vans and stuff like that. And I was like, man, those are such cool shoes. I wish I could afford them.
Charles
but I didn't even
Vans.
When you're broke, I don't know if it was the same for you guys, but when you're broke, like I didn't have a concept of walking shoes. Like, oh, those are my walk. I didn't know what that meant or what that was. Yeah. And then people would be like, oh, these are just walking shoes. And they'd have like separate shoes for everything. I was like, wait, you don't have like one pair of shoes that are just all purpose?
Right. Well, I had something similar. That was actually one of my... I talk about, we weren't well off all the time, but I was well off enough in high school to have my PE shoes and my Vans.
Mm-hmm.
But it worked out. It was actually cost efficient because I'm a kind of guy, I don't know about you guys, I wear out shoes. Like within the matter of like 3 months, they're gone. Like they're done. Like some people can make their shoes last a year. My brother can make some shoes last 4 years. He had a pair of soaps. I don't know if you know soaps, the one you can grind on the heel, like on.
Oh yes, I remember those.
Yeah, he had a pair of those less than 4 years. But like I'm a guy that like they're gone in 6 months guaranteed, like unwearable. I wear them out because I walk real hard. John C. Riley, shout out. I'm heavy heeled. I blow my stuff out and I rip them up. I don't mean to. I try to take care of my shoes, but I'm just that guy. So Vans were cost efficient actually in the end for my family because I could wear Vans all day.
Yeah.
The whole school year. I might need more athletic shoes for PE and football and stuff, but like the Vans would always be around. So it worked out pretty good. Vans are very sturdy shoes.
I cannot remember what shoes I wore like at all for like regular shoes. That's like that kind of like put me into like a thought process. What shoes was I wearing? Like being a kid, riding my bike around all the time. I have no idea.
Kids.
Do you remember the first pair of shoes you could buy with your own money?
Payless?
Yeah,
you're probably wearing Payless.
You bought green Chucks? Was the first pair of shoes you could buy with your own money? That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
That's really dope. I bought some.
What about you, Josh?
Some skater brand that I don't know now, but they were
like Element.
Yeah, but like Element, but it's like like a fresh new indie company, and they didn't last. You know what I mean? Like, but it's a cool shoe, so I'm gonna try that. So I went to a skateboard shop and bought some of those. They were just hot red shoes. I was like, dang, look at them bad boys. You know what I mean?
I bought the first shoe I bought that I can recall buying with my own money was the Dwayne Wade shoe when he graduated when he came into the NBA from Marquette. and it was a Converse, actually, Brooke. So I'm not far from what you were saying when you're like, I'm a Converse. But I didn't know any of the stuff I knew now back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a dope Converse shoe that was like, it was black, like matted leather that was like in like slots. I don't know if that makes sense. Almost like a window, how you like your shades. It'd come down like that, and you had a little bit of like a red thin line in between each line. Mm-hmm. And it went all the way down to the floor, and I thought they were just the coolest shoes, and I always wanted a signature shoe. I'd never owned like a Jordan or a Kobe or anything like that.
Right.
And I saw Dwayne Wade, and I was like, this guy's gonna be the king. And I bought that shoe. Yeah, he's one of the best of all time.
Me of, in middle school, Iversons were real popular. Allen Iverson.
Yeah, dog. I am right there. Yes. Oh my God, like, the answer line.
A lot of my friends got some Iversons, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to get some of these Iversons. But then I thought, like, why do I want Iversons? I don't know who Iverson is. They're just cool shoes. Oh, he's good at basketball. Cool. He copied Jordan. Why are we getting anything other than Jordans? You know what I mean? But then Shaq, also shout out to Shaq because he has those Payless shoes that are like dope.
Yeah.
And he's like feeding
Walmart Payless
cheap shoes.
I said shout out to Shaq. If you're seeing this, I would date you. I don't care that you're married.
Yeah, I would too. I would also date you, bub. I'll be your personal chef. I'll rub your feet. I'll rub your feet, dog.
I will rub your feet.
Well, it would be like huge. It'd be like this big rubbing his.
They have his shoe in Universal Studios when he played for the Lakers in the shoe shop on Universal City Walk. Yeah, and it's like it's you can't see it, but it's like huge.
Nope.
What size do you think Shaq is? Like shoe size?
I think it was like 34
like
or something like that.
34 is what I'd say. I was gonna say 7, but
I was gonna say 22.
No, it's in the shop. I think it's like a 32 or like a 30. It's like ridiculous. I'm telling you, it's like if you put two of your shoes together.
That's what I was gonna say. It's two of them.
After 16, they just make it up. Like, oh yeah, you're a 730 to the power of 10. Yeah.
You want to feel like a big man? You're a 40.
Oh, you're a big boy. A big boy. Let's move on.
No, wait. You brought up that Allen Iverson, how those shoes were so popular in middle school. I agreed with you. And I wanted to ask you guys, do you remember when Dada, like the Dadas were super popular? They were like the really shiny black leather with the really shiny silver side. Some of them had wheels on the side.
Yeah.
They were called Dadas. It was like, I want to say like 2000 to 2002. They were like an ultra popular shoe.
They were a blip for me in Colorado.
Very farm town. So no, I don't remember.
No.
Yeah.
I want you guys to like, if you get a chance, like while we're doing the show, Google them. Like just do an image search.
The art style?
It's just Dada shoes, like DADA shoes.
Yeah.
And I'm just very curious if it triggers your memory. Because, like, they stand out to me because in the Bay Area in California, like, all the rich kids had these. Like, they were ultra popular.
I've never seen these in my life.
You've never seen them?
I've never seen them in my whole life.
And I think they were super popular because the best basketball player out of Sacramento wore them, Chris Webber. And he was signed on with Dada. They were Chris Webber shoes.
I hope that you guys can see this when I show you. The first picture that shows up is this like weird
moss-colored Crocs.
That's not it.
Swamp Boy Crocs.
Cactus plant flea market. Overgrown.
That is not the shoe.
Oh, jeez.
That is 100% not the shoe.
Let's move down the road.
It's just because I clicked on images, but that was the first image. Wow.
Now we got Boots with the Bear.
When did that song come out?
Oh, 2010, 8-ish, 9-ish.
Okay.
No, it was when I was with Fry. So that'd be 2007-ish.
2007, yeah, 2006, 2007.
We go to the club. That was in the club when we were in Albuquerque. So.
Oh, always, and like all girls would like shake their Uggs. They'd shake their Uggs when that song would come on. It was these, Brooke. Can you see these?
Yeah.
Those are awesome.
I saw the ones that had the circle, like the wheel on it.
Yeah, that's the other one.
Yeah, those are absolute trash. But Boots with the Fur, speaking of Uggs, like, I'm positive Uggs are deliciously comfortable. You don't wear those shoes outside. Those are for inside. You don't go to the club in Uggs. Grow
because
up.
they're gonna start to
Those are
stink.
slippers, dog. No, the stink, it doesn't matter. Like you're gonna stink the slippers. But you're wearing slippers. Slippers start to stink. And you don't wear slippers to the club or to school or a business function or work. Those are slippers, dog. You're wearing very thick socks. Egregious. I've always held this stance. Like, that, cool, you look nice, you have nice legs, cool Uggs. Wear better shoes. Like, you look like trash. It's garbage. I'm sorry. It's so comfortable.
I'm come in with a hot take.
Oh, hot take. I think I was the hot take, but...
I appreciate your hot take, Josh, but here's my hot take. Wear trashier shoes. Wear worse shoes.
Crocs.
Crocs with socks in four-wheel drive mode. Do it. With spurs
Tuxedo
on the
with
back.
Crocs. Tuxedo with capris and socks and white socks.
You know what? In fact, cut up like 6 different kinds of shoes, sew those shoes together, and wear
Put a
those.
ball gag in your mouth.
And put a wheel on them.
Yeah. Hold a hot dog. Shit. All right. Anyway, boots with the fur. Let's get back to the topic. I'm sorry for my
hot take.
Hot take. Yeah, hot take.
Okay. Boots with the fur. I actually owned a pair of Uggs, but not until 2013 or 14. And I went to this little party, and somebody spilled beer on my boot, on my Uggs, and they were like the brown ones. No, I got so mad at the guy. I was like, what the hell? What the heck, man? I just spent X amount of dollars on this. And he's like, okay, what size shoes do you wear? I will order you new Uggs right now. And I was like, no, you won't. You're probably a piece of crap. He ordered me a pair of Uggs, and I got a new pair of Uggs from that guy. Shout out Jacoby.
He was not a piece of crap. He, in fact, followed through.
He just wanted to date me. I think that's...
Well, of course he did. Of course he did. He saw the shoes. You're like, oh, look at my shoes. And, like, your butt's poking out. And, like, oh, we're drinking. Yeah, of course.
He's not looking at the shoes at all. Yeah. He's like, yeah,
oh, your poor shoes. Go check the heels again. Make sure the heels aren't soaked. Oh, dang.
So, like, how tall are you with the Uggs on? You say, like, 5'5", 5'8", sure. Somewhere around there?
Your feet stink.
Probably 5'5".
Your feet stink pretty good, gosh. Right? Your feet stink, though? Like for real? All right, let's...
They do.
No,
I'll get you another pair as long as I get the old ones.
By the way, what a guess by me. As we've said this before, I've never met Brooke in real life, in person. So good job, Fry.
You guys be...
You guys 5'5" first. That's short. I'm big girl.
I'm big girl.
Big old farm girl. You 5'5". You can't handle this. You can't handle this tractor.
I got that John Deere booty.
No,
stomping in my Air Force Ones. So I can get to stomping in my Air Force Ones. Give me.
Bump, 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 bada bump. Bump, 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 bada bump.
That's a reference to the song by Nelly. He's one of the baddest dudes out of St. Louis. What are your thoughts? Talking about some Air Force Ones or a song that was like hot like that? Maybe Black Air Forces or what? Another song that might remind you of when a song was a shoe was hot. What do you think?
I'm gonna go with Miley Cyrus. J's on my feet. J's on my feet. Can't get
Miley Cyrus is such a treasure.
She is. I love her. And if you guys say anything bad about her, I will find you.
We used to drive down. We used to drive down Central in Albuquerque, going to the club in a big red truck, playing "Party in the USA," singing it. All Air Force guys singing "Party in the USA" in the back of the truck. Yeah, like super obnoxious, but I loved it.
I'm a classic hater of pop. I've never had the energy to hate on Miley. She's a treasure. She's a treasure. She's it.
And she can't stop, and she won't stop.
And then whenever she does a cover song, like, you ever see her sing Jolene?
Yeah.
Dolly Parton is her godmother.
Yep.
Cool.
Fun fact.
Well, I'll just start briefly with Air Force Ones was a song that got like played more than once on my way to and from prom night. Nelly was hot at that time. We played that song. We played that album a lot. My Pimp Juice, the Pimp Juice. Ooh,
my Pimp Juice, baby.
Yeah.
What's crazy is we actually had Pimp Juice when that song came out.
It was gross. It smelled bad. Anyway, but Air Force Ones. Hopefully, we all have a little bit of Pimp Juice here or there.
But I'm more Pimp Juice than Pimp Juice.
I'm definitely 90% Pimp Juice. But Air Force Ones, they weren't ever my thing, but I definitely appreciated the look of other people. I'm not a high top guy. You know what I mean?
Oh.
I'm not like over the ankle. I don't think shoes, like, shut up. Your shoes don't belong over the ankle unless you're a pro athlete. If you're a young athlete playing basketball, you shouldn't have high tops. You shouldn't need to protect your ankles yet. Grow up. Get old and protect your ankles.
That is a terrible take, athletes. Please protect your ankles at all levels of sport.
No!
Listen,
because you're weakening the small muscles.
Not everybody's born with strong ankles like
when you protect your shit. When you protect your small muscles, they don't blossom with the rest of your big muscles. So you don't wear a weight belt at all times.
This is a terrible take, athletes. I will break this down on our other property, TheSadFan, later this week.
Let me ask
you, Please do not listen to him.
When you're working out, do you always wear a weight belt?
He's like, no.
Do you always wear knee pads when you do squats?
I am not an example of the right and wrong things to do. I am not talking to an international audience giving them terrible advice.
I'm going to go ahead and pause this episode and we're going to do a 45-minute debate.
When we go live, which, by the way, audience, we do have a plan to go live in the coming months to celebrate our 1-year anniversary. We will be going live in the coming months.
You know what I'm picturing now? I'm picturing Josh, like, walking, but he's, like, on the outside of his ankles. He's like, you don't need to protect that.
Not even ankles, gosh, I'm trying to
stick pointed. A chopstick taped to my foot. This is my new shoe.
He's like a stereotypical pirate captain, but he's got two nubs. This is what happens when you protect your ankles, kids. Just two sticks.
Jeez Louise.
Oh my gosh.
Funny. Fresh. And we're back.
On my feet.
Let's change up the topic here.
Last topic of this episode.
We got two more. So we're going to choose.
Quick. Rapid fire.
Okay. What are those?
Yo, have you guys ever been to Korea?
No.
Nope.
Okay. So when I was in Korea, and I assume this is going to happen when I go to Japan, I saw so many dope sneakers because, like, they just have a way of when they dress, the Korean culture. Yeah, the Korean culture, when they dress, they just have a way of pulling off stuff that you're like, I could never pull that off. It's so crazy how it works. Yeah. But I saw so many sneakers and different pairs of, like, tennis shoes where I was like, what are those? Those are so cool looking.
Yeah.
So that's that's
Korean
my take on this.
Korean fashion is top notch. Like, check them out, dude. Go on Google and just look up a random search. What are those?
Why do your shoes have earrings?
Why do they have ears?
Why don't yours?
I mean, why don't mine?
I think about what are those. So, like, what do you wear in general? I wear G Defy because I have plantar fasciitis. I'm a disabled veteran. I have a lot of foot problems. I walk on concrete all day. G Defy has a at least 1 inch cushion. They're like medically prescribed. They're insane. They literally changed my life. They're about $100 to $130. I'm not joking, guys. Like, I had pain from my heel bone all the way up to the top of my back, giving me headaches. So to my brain, and then I wore those shoes the next day, and it stopped. So what are those weird shoes? They look like New Balance, but the cousin of New Balance. Back when New Balance wasn't cool, it's not cool still. But like, you know what I mean? They didn't try that hard way back then. I'm all about that. G-Defied, look them up if you have foot problems.
Brooke, what are those?
Daily shoe, or are we saying like, what are those?
Just what are those? Whatever that means to you.
What am I wearing? I'm wearing Chacos. Same thing for foot.
Ooh, I like those.
There's a foot. Now we're with that show.
We don't show feet for free.
$4 to $5.
So
$4 to $5.
Like and subscribe.
Well, let me scratch that clip off.
Yep.
There's another one, God.
Stop fishing.
Because I said like and subscribe, there's no... what are those? I think Yeezys, sometimes I see some of those and I'm like, what are those?
Gross,
like,
dude.
It's like
gross.
You're wearing a sock over your regular heel. How did you make that a fashion?
So stupid looking, dude.
Like,
yeah.
They're not ahead of their time.
I get that fashion is like a all subjective art. Like everybody's fashion shouldn't look the same because not all art looks the same. I get it.
Yep.
But it just doesn't look like it makes sense.
No, I'm with you. I think the Yeezy is one of the ugliest shoes. Plus, like Josh said, I actually completely agree with Josh with they're not ahead of their time, because when those first came out, the first Yeezy drop that were like $300, I was like, I feel like I literally saw a design just like that at Walmart for like $20 before this ever came out.
Yeah. And this is credit to Yeezy in a way, because that whole torn thing where he sells a shirt for $300, a t-shirt that's all torn up, like, he didn't invent that, but he called it about 2 years before it happened. Mm-hmm. So he has been, in many aspects of his career, ahead of his time. His shoes are not it, though. They look like a robot that wants to pretend to be a cloud, and it's stinky. They look like they stink.
I think
they probably do.
Yeah, I think it consistently shows the power of a good name, right? And that's unfortunately and fortunately, as we grow this show, like we got more subscribers. We're not where we want to be by any means. We're trying our best, like we're working really hard, but we got more subscribers to the show, and that's kind of why I piss this team off so much, and I apologize. As I try to like let us operate outside of the lanes and be like really organic, but also try to pull us back in. And I'm finding that balance here in editing and sending out the reels and asking for free help in a way. Because
free healthcare for America.
Because a lot of it is based on a name, and I'm trying to find out like how we can get that name. Not we as a team can get in that
GORP
space.
Coming 2027.
Well, just the TheSadFan brand standing for something, standing for what freedom actually is, and not what it's been. What's the word I'm looking for now? Co-opted to be, if that makes sense, right? Like that's kind of what I want to be. And it just, when you see things like Josh was talking about with the Yeezys being ugly and being ahead of his time and just dumb shit being popular in fashion, like there is some dumb shit that's popular in fashion. Yes, I subscribe to what Brooke said. It's subjective. We need our subjective buzzer. We were talking about that, Josh. But like Brooke said, it's subjective. But they're just like I do believe there are certain things that we all know as humans are objectively ugly. And just because they have a name behind it, like trash, like Derelict and Zoolander, and he makes the Derelict line.
Derelict is the Kanye line. I'm not sure if you saw. Kanye's line was Derelict, and it worked.
That's my joke, is that all it takes is a good name to make something that's really terrible famous and popular, and that was the joke in the movie as well. That's what I was getting at. Sorry, I talked way too long.
Sorry.
Fry, I'm just gonna. I appreciate what you're saying. Like, a corporation can take anything, whatever it is, and make it popularized, right?
Yep.
But also
with the right name,
right?
Put a pretty lady on it.
But also, like, I don't know who's to say that it's not like a cool thing. Is it just like our preemptive thoughts that have said no, this is trash? Like, is it the way that
that's very interesting, Because you're right.
It's also very almost like a very Disney movie concept. And I don't mean that in an insulting way. I mean that in an honest way. Like it's a very who's to say what's beautiful and not beautiful. And I get totally where you're coming from.
It's a classic argument.
It is. It is. But I do think there are things like no one looks at certain a tumor and goes, "Damn, that is a sexy tumor."
I think people do look at that and they're called surgeons.
I can't wait to get my fingers in there.
I can't wait to just.
But yeah, you're right though. If we all wore penis-shaped shoes, that's not. Why would you censor penis? Penis is legal. It's been legal since '82 or something. Anyway,
it is anatomically correct to say the word penis, Josh. I just don't know where you. I didn't know where you were going with it.
If we all wore shoes like that, literally 90% of the population wore penis shoes. Eventually,
it would be the thing.
We would be styling on which kind of penis are you wearing. It's not about whether or not you are and what's wrong with it.
I had the same conversation, Josh, with a couple other teachers in regards to words, because we were talking about our pets, and I was like, dude, my dog, my little dog, the one that you all got to see on last week's episode of GORP, she loves it when I come home and I go, "Who's good, fat mama? Who's good, fat mama?" And she's just shaking it like, "I'm the fat mama. I'm the fat." She loves it. And it's because of how I present it to her.
If you came home and said that to your wife, it might not.
Yeah, it wouldn't go as well. So it's very interesting that you said that, John. You want to close us out there, guy?
Well, you jerks. Hey guys, it's been a great GORP talking about some shoes. Next week, I think we're gonna be talking about how the human genome might surpass AI if we try really hard. Otherwise, it's all over. But thanks for coming out. You can find us at GORP Show on the YouTube. You can find us at TheSadFan Network, the TheSadFan Podcast Network, and we're gonna have a good time next week. See you soon.